I got married 6 months ago, and you want to know what is pissing me off is how often now I am genuinely treated as secondary to my husband.
Oh boy.
And I'm tired of acting like it's not a big deal and it doesn't matter and it doesn't affect you. It's literally with everything. We go get a mortgage, he's listed as the primary mortgage holder, I'm listed as the secondary. We get our taxes done. I just got the forms back. This is why I'm crashing out. He's listed as taxpayer, I'm listed as spouse. Even though I'm the one that reached out to the CPA, set up the appointment, has been giving him the documents, has been the one corresponding with him. He's barely talked to my husband. My husband still gets the taxpayer designation and I get the spouse designation. And it matters. The shit matters for how it makes you feel and how we see women and how we treat women. And can you imagine if we've made men live this way? Like, literally, can you imagine how they would react if they opened their mailbox every day and got letters that said, hello, Mr. Wife's first name, wife's last name? Don't even get me started with the name stuff. I didn't change my last name. There are people in my personal life and just like random strangers that I interact with that refuse to acknowledge that still insist on calling me Allie, husband's last name, or Allie, my last name, husband's last name. They just straight up refuse.
Or they don't know.
And I'm going to start being mean about it. Like, because why not? Like, or not even being mean about it, just being like, why am I the secondary person? You've only been talking to me. Because it's everyone. It's contractors. If I'm the one who reaches out to a contractor, I'm the one who sets up time. I'm the one who's been emailing him. He comes into our home to give the estimate with me. We get the estimate back. We get the invoice. It still has my husband's name on the top. Like, it's actually shocking to me how often this keeps happening in the 6 months that I've been married. And it fucks with your psyche, and I'm going to start being mean about it because imagine if we made men live like this. Literally imagine.
Wow. Well, woman, if no one's told you this yet, he's a lucky man. He's a lucky man. So she got married 6 months ago. She's already crashing out. She's not gonna make it. This one is not gonna make it. First off, I don't know why these feminists still get married. Why? It's completely antithetical to their worldview. You don't need a man. You're Miss Independent. Clearly, you don't even want to become one with your husband. You won't give up your last name, which, by the way, isn't even yours. It's your father, and it's patrilineal. So you're just holding on to a last name that was given to you by a different man. Patriarchy strikes again. You can't get away from it, woman. It's pathetic. And like, I just personally, for me, if a woman would not take my last name, I'm just not going to marry her. No thanks. Just not going to do it. Because, like, chances are, she's still going to expect you to propose. She's still going to expect you to pay for a ring. It's just funny. But anyways, it's like with these women, these feminists, just stop getting married, okay? She's going to file for divorce anyways. She's going to file for divorce over irreconcilable differences anyways. So she needs to admit, and so many women like her just need to admit, they're not capable of being a wife, and they should stop pretending they are just to get a ring. Anyways, so what is she upset about? She's mad that because when they filed for a mortgage, he was listed as the primary. She's mad that the CPA labeled him as the taxpayer and then her the spouse. And then she's also mad that the contractors, I guess on the invoicing, his name is on the invoice, not hers, even though she's the one who has been communicating or making the call or whatever. So I think it's funny how she doesn't understand why these things are the way they are. First off, there's a reason he's listed as the primary on the mortgage. It's not just some sort of patriarchy. This is not oppression. Woman, he's listed as the primary because he probably has a stronger credit score, higher income, or a more established financial history. That's it. The bank doesn't give a shit who called. The bank doesn't give a shit about equality and partnership. They care about who is most responsible to carry the loan. That's how a mortgage works. And her not understanding that is exactly why she wasn't listed as the primary in the first place, right? And then she's also triggered that the CPA labeled him as the taxpayer and then her as the spouse. And usually, if they're going to be filing joint, which clearly they did, that label is going to be based off of who earned more income, whose social security number was used first, who filed with that CPA in the past, and whose name appears first on the documents. So just because she's the one who has been communicating with him or the CPA or booking the appointment, she says she's handing him the documents. Well, what do those documents say? It doesn't matter who handed the documents. It matters about what the documents say. But she acts like just because she's the one making the appointments and handling the phone calls, she's going to be listed first. And you know what's funny is that's probably why she was willing to do that in the first place. It's probably why she was willing to be the one to initiate contact and do it, because she thought it was going to result in her being like named taxpayer and then her husband as spouse. And she wanted a feminist boss babe moment there. But this is just what happens when someone thinks that equality and egalitarianism should override structure and responsibility. And then the last one I think she's talking about, right, the contractor and the invoicing. Like, here's the thing. Again, on official records, the husband's name, obviously, as she told us and as we now know, his name is the primary name, legally tied to the property. So, you know, if these contractors are using some software that autofills, which likely they are, or maybe they're even not, but they're going to pull from whatever name is attached to the deed or the mortgage. That's how it works. So like her complaints just show us how little she actually understands about how most of this functions. Everything she's describing has a practical explanation, but to her, it's oppression. It's ridiculous. And, you know, the explanation that I'm talking about involves her husband being the one carrying the financial responsibility. So, and what's funny is, like, instead of appreciating it, she's here spiraling. She's crashing out because she's not being treated like she is the main character, like she's the head of the household. You're not. That's why you're not. And this is what happens when your ego cannot handle not being constantly prioritized and pedestalized. You crash out on the camera like she is and you throw a pissy fit. This is pathetic. I guess this feminist here thought her marriage was going to be man and woman co-CEOs in a partnership where secretly, she's the boss. And in reality, systems like mortgages, taxes, legal paperwork, contractors, and their invoices, it's gonna default to the documents and the financial head. And most of the time, clearly in this case, it's gonna be the husband. This whole thing, by the way, it's like it's projection, because if she were in those positions, she would make the woman the primary because of her gender. She would make the woman the head because of her gender. She would make the woman the taxpayer because of her gender. That's why she assumes everyone else is doing it too. Just, you know, in the opposite direction. It's just pure projection. And by the way, heads up, in this video, in the comments section, tons of women are in there who work in real estate or work in law, and they are openly saying that they pull feminist stunts like this. Like, they'll intentionally put the woman's name first, not based on logic or financial responsibility or anything like that, or finances. It's just some petty feminism. It's a feminist act. So keep that in mind. You know, again, it is projection, because women are doing exactly what she's accusing these other people of doing. So again, it's projection. And if she were in these people's shoes, she again would be putting the woman's name simply because of the gender. It's just petty feminism. But, you know, it's funny for her. It's like, hey, woman, don't worry, because when you do divorce him for irreconcilable differences, you're still going to be rewarded more than you actually deserve. So don't worry about that part. That you will still get. But I'm going to leave the video there. So if you enjoyed it, I'd appreciate a subscription and a like, and I'll see you next time.